Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Peacock and I'm a student at Gordon State College. I'll be presenting a project I've been working on since last semester that started as part of an honors contract for my health class taught by Dr. Michael Mahan, who is my faculty sponsor and advisor for this project. The title of my project is Zoom University: How Social Distancing Helps or Hurts College Students. I'll be discussing the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on college students and more specifically how it has impacted our stress levels. Obviously, COVID-19 has affected all groups of people across the world in various ways. First and foremost, the elderly and those with underlying conditions are the most susceptible to physical illness from the virus. Healthcare workers have had to treat COVID patients without the necessary personal protective equipment. And working parents have had to completely rearrange their schedules to accommodate school closures. I chose to focus my research primarily on college students because I feel that we are impacted by this pandemic in a complex way. We are not the most physically impacted by this virus. As you can see, most of us fall into the 18 to 29 age category, which makes up only 22.5% of total cases and less than 1% of deaths from the virus in the United States. In my health class last semester, I became interested in the 9 dimensions of wellness, as defined in Concepts of Fitness and Wellness, a textbook written by several professors at Georgia Highlands College. The 9 dimensions of wellness include not only physical health, but also emotional, intellectual, spiritual, environmental, occupational, financial, cultural, and social wellness. My thesis for this project is that for college students as a whole, we are not the most physically impacted, but our other 8 dimensions have been heavily impacted, and this has resulted in an unprecedented amount of stress that we are now having to deal with in our lives. I'll be focusing on 3 main contributors to this pandemic-related stress, which are the transition to online courses, financial difficulties, and a lack of social interaction. As part of this project, I conducted a student research survey at Gordon State College to get a consensus of how these issues were affecting my peers. The survey was available to all students 18 years of age or older for 2 weeks, and a total of 114 students completed the survey. I'll be using these results in combination with several scholarly works from the fields of public health, psychology, and education to support my thesis. Let's take a closer look at that first stress factor, the transition to online courses. The probability that a college student has had to take online courses this year is very high. The Chronicle of Higher Education reported that as of fall 2020, 88% of colleges and universities in the United States were operating at least partially online. Many students feel that they need face-to-face instruction to reach their full potential in their courses. Of the students who completed my survey for this project, 58% of them reported that they find online courses to be more difficult than fully in-person courses. In addition, online courses pose a major issue for students who do not have access to the necessary technology at home. To succeed online, students need access to a computer, a quiet workspace, and a strong internet connection. According to an Indiana University study that was published in an academic journal titled Communication Research, 20% of students at a large Midwestern university did not have access to one or more of these necessities at home. This inarguably places a large amount of stress on these students that they did not have to experience before the pandemic. The second factor of this pandemic that affects college students is financial difficulties. Many students, like myself, have to work either part-time or full-time to pay for college or other living expenses. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, 43% of undergraduate students were employed in 2018. Of the students who participated in my survey, 84% reported that they have other responsibilities outside of school, and 68% said that a job was part of those responsibilities. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that the number of unemployed 18 to 24-year-olds rose from 1.7 million in February of 2020 to 4.9 million by May. As a result, many students have been forced to make changes to their degree plans or graduation dates. According to my survey, 30% of Gordon State students have had to make changes such as these. The final stress factor that we will discuss is the lack of social interaction. Now I want to refer back to the 9 dimensions of wellness that I mentioned earlier. One of those is social wellness. According to Concepts of Fitness and Wellness, in order for one to be socially well, a person must develop a network of friends and coworkers who share a common purpose and who provide support and validation. As more courses and extracurricular activities move online, students have less interaction with their friends and their peers, and are therefore less socially well. 60% of the Gordon State students from the survey felt that being away from their friends and peers has affected them in a negative way. Furthermore, it has been proven that social interaction directly affects physical health. Dr. Shane Chen from Pace University talks about this in his book, Social Support in Health. Chen says, elevation and level of life stress places all people at risk for illness, but the impact of exposure to high levels of stress will be offset or buffered in the presence of adequate social supports. COVID-19 poses a health risk for everyone, but being isolated from their friends further inhibits college students' abilities to fight off illness. So to sum up, college students were notoriously stressed before the COVID-19 pandemic, but the pandemic has taken that stress to a whole new level. The transition to online courses, financial difficulties, and the lack of social interaction place additional stress on top of our regular course loads and other responsibilities we may have. While us college students are not the most physically impacted by the pandemic, we are among the most impacted in terms of overall wellness. While it is important for us to social distance and protect ourselves from this virus, we must carefully balance that with the things we need to maintain our overall wellness. What does this look like for you? Is it getting involved on campus, even though all your classes are online, to enhance your college experience? Is it starting a small business online while you're at home to supplement the income you may have lost during the pandemic? Is it setting aside time to have coffee with a few close friends to get a little bit of social interaction? Today, I challenge you to think about these things and incorporate some of them into your daily life. Thank you for listening to my presentation.